Good evening, Awoken, and welcome back for another primary election night episode coverage that we will be providing you up to the date details about the primary election in Mississippi in particular tonight. The only state that has a primary election tonight that is a statewide sponsored event. However, there is a special election in Georgia as well in regards to, excuse me for that belch, in regards to the seat of former Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene of the 14th District in Georgia. Within that seat, the carpet capital of the world, Dalton, Georgia, resides within that congressional district. Okay, so we got a couple of comments from AME629. Welcome to the stream, AME629. Glad that you are here this evening. I will read your comments as follows. Anyone here? What time does it start? What does 50 XP mean? I heard it. Emoji. OMG, are you okay? You don't seem prepared. Usually, I will roll out a little bit fashionably late on these more desktop streams because on election night, every other year, right? These states, they host elections. We are the best. However, it always takes them additional time to begin counting votes, to begin releasing some of the numbers, right? So on election night, we vary when we start the stream. However, I am glad that you're here on the stream this evening. I don't believe I've seen your username before, so I would encourage you to subscribe to the channel, leave the video a like. Would love to have your support in the future, as well as everyone listening to this. Would love to encourage you to subscribe to our channel. So if you've been kind of watching the last couple of days, we've been walking around DC, we've been to Chinatown, we've been to the old RFK, the remnants of the structure in Northeast DC, answering your questions, responding to your comments, and all that good stuff. We have gained, in the last just couple of days alone, we have, so actually, let's do this. Before last week, last Friday morning, we were at 395 subscribers, and now we have propelled to 457 subscribers just within the last 3 to 4.5 days. So just wanted to thank you for your support. We are approaching our goal of 500 at a rapid rate, and we will achieve that by the end of the week at this rate, because you can already notice I've got a little bit of a tan, a little bit of a facial burn by walking around the district, hours upon hours answering your questions. And I would do it tomorrow, and I would do it the next day, and I would do it the day after that, and I'll do it the next day after that, and the next day, and the next day, and the next day, and the next day. Nothing will stop me. It's too late. You should stop me before I developed the actual, I would say, more skills for crowd control, ideally wanting to build a movement, and it's too late. Nothing's going to stop me now. Nothing will ever stop me. Nothing would have ever stopped me. So it's a fallacy if you thought that this movement could be degraded or crashed. So just with that out of the way, would love to remind you to subscribe to the YouTube channel, leave the video a like, leave a comment, join AME 629, being a little bit of a funny guy, we should say, tonight. And we have a new commenter at LuClaren 5690. Will Mississippi be awoken tonight? We will see. We will see how the voters cast their ballots and made their voices heard, right? So a wonderful question by LuClaren 5690, and at AME 629 claims, I'm a female. Okay. A little not sure why that was needed. And LuClaren is a male. Okay. Not sure why. I didn't know this was Poli-Sci 400, where the liberal professor wants you to announce your pronouns before the syllabus is read on the first day of class. However, we do champion free speech on this channel. So, okay, yeah, you said I was being a funny guy. Okay, not wanting to I don't want to catch a lawsuit from the ACLU, so I will correct your pronouns at AME 629. I apologize, ma'am, for misgendering you. Okay. We are also on X, Instagram, Facebook, Twitch, Rumble, YouTube, and Spotify. We're on 7 different platforms. You can catch us on all 7 of them. On the desktop streams, I upload them to all 7 of those platforms. However, when we do live in the morning, catch us exclusively on YouTube. That's the main channel I'm trying to promote at this moment. So would love to have your support. Join LuClaren 5690 and AME 629, a male and female respectively, in the chat tonight. So go ahead and join them down there. Okay, at Lucy J2I7M says hello. Hello, Lucy. Thank you for joining the stream tonight. Hope you had a wonderful day. Okay, and at AME 629, we will be diving into the results now. Actually, here, let's put the... All right, now we get the comments on stage. So, dive in. Okay, so, all right, everybody. So, we did the low intro, right? Wanted to introduce myself, and we are going to be taking a look into some of these. We have 2 main stories tonight. Where the state of Mississippi, their primary results, the 4th state in the nation. Last week we had Texas, North Carolina, and Arkansas. Those were the 3 last week. And now we are at state number 4 with Mississippi. Okay, so we're going to share the screen here, and we're going to dive right in to the election results. From what we have, I believe the polls closed at around 8 o'clock. Here, let's pull this guy up. Sorry. It's still kind of, it's a little slow there. All right, wonderful. Okay, we're going to dive right in. Let's check out if there were any primaries in the GU. So Mississippi, I believe the state itself has 6 electoral votes. What does that mean? It means they have 4 elected House members, and they have 2 senators, which equals 6 electoral votes for the Electoral College. So we do this each time, right? It's about building a foundation to where everyone can understand how politics actually operates, right? That's about becoming awoken to where if you're at, no matter your age or your gender, I want to be PC with with Mrs. AME629 and Mr. LeClaren 5690 want to be respectful of the genders tonight. However, wherever your age, right, you can effectively communicate this message with people as we are trying to grow the mass awakening. Okay, at Beth B4J8Z says hi. Hello, Beth. Thank you for joining the stream this evening. And AME629 says, I know the Georgia results of GA14 special election. Okay. Oh my gosh. All right. Okay. My apologies, Miss. So Miss AME629 is not married. So, all right, guys. So if you're in the chat, you might want to give Miss AME629 your best pickup line of the evening. Best pickup line, I think, Amy, I think you have to go on a date with the gentleman that provides the best pickup line of the evening. So, all right, everybody, give it what you got. That's a loose side plot for tonight's stream. However, we are going to be discussing some of these results here now. I guess it looks like Trent Kelly was unopposed. Mr. Guest of the 3rd District was also lacking an opponent. However, it seems like District 2 and 4, there is some kind of competitiveness, some challenge presented to the incumbents, or maybe it's an open seat even. Right? We know District 2 is Bernard Thompson, Benny Thompson, as many will say. So we will we will continue to check this out. However, District 4, Zell versus Walters is occurring right now. And let's go to some of the... All right, so it seems like in District 2, Mr. Thompson was... at least faced with multiple obstacles. Doesn't look like either of them are going to be formidable at all. And Mr. Thompson, you can almost see that Dave Wasserman tweet right now that says, I've seen enough. And he's ready to pencil in the former J6 House chair into this November. Which ultimately, here's the deal, is that none of these seats we're talking about tonight, we're not going to be talking about them in November. So that's kind of the deal here, right? It's a state that is reliably ruby red, not that competitive on the grand scheme of things. Not a whole lot of money is spent in the state as a result. And we even saw with, I believe, Elvis Presley's nephew ran for governor a couple, I believe in 2023, because Mississippi has, for their governorship, they have off-year elections. And I believe Elvis Presley's nephew or grandson or some individual that had ties with Mr. Presley sought out the office of governorship in Mississippi, was unsuccessful to, I believe, Tate Reeves. He's the incumbent governor of Mississippi. And I also believe he was the governor that removed the Confederate flag, state flag, and replaced it with the daffodil, or not daffodil. It's like a peach colored kind of flag. So, um, so that was one of his more major actions as gov of the state. We also, if in Mississippi, maybe Lou Claren or AME can provide. They both seem to be involved in Mississippi politics, or at least interested in the outcome of tonight's election. Maybe they can provide a little more context about the Brett Favre scandal, where we're talking about wanted to Mr. Favre donated a lump sum of cash to the University of Southern Mississippi, to build a volleyball arena, a volleyball infrastructure complex facility, using taxpayer dollars. However, I don't want to make any claims because that is still, I believe that's still being drawn out in court. So we're just going to have to see what happens with that. Okay, so let's do a little check-in. A little check-in for this Georgia House special election. Okay, it looks like we don't know how many votes there are per candidate, but okay, now we do. Wow. Okay. So it's looking like right now that Sean Harris and Clayton Fuller will be the party's respective nominees come November. Or actually not November. This is a special election, right? They gotta square off in probably a couple of months, right? They're trying to fill the seat for the remainder of the term. And it will probably be by around early summer when this is filled on a non-permanent but a caretaker. I would say this is more of a caretaker seat appointment or special election in this case. Because we're already in early to mid-March. And like 2 days, everyone is going to start saying it's middle of March. People are going to be talking about how the spring season is here. And how everyone's... I saw it on the walks today and walking home from work. Everybody is all of a sudden running, they're jogging, they're in shorts and a t-shirt. The weather has turned in the right direction, I would say, more or less, especially after the awful winter storm that occurred in the district, in the Northeast as a whole, around 3 to 4 weeks ago, maybe. I think we've survived the worst of it, and we'll be moving on to spring for now. We're about a week away from March Madness, the college basketball tournament. The 68 best teams advance to it, but there's only one winner. Okay, so let's get back to the comment section here. Lou Claren, 5690. Oh no, I believe AME 629 has left the chat. I would say you were the winner of the pickup line competition. However, I think Miss AME has abandoned the chat. So I think, at least as of right now, we are, you might be in a little tough of a position. However, if you get all of your buddies to share this podcast online, right? If you share this comment section, help your buddies become awoken. There's anything online can reach anybody. That's kind of the name of the game when it comes to online communication and other factors right now. So as long as you share it with enough of your buddies, I'm sure it could reach AME, and you guys could be set up on the best Awoken date of all time. The first Awoken date that has been set up through this channel. So that would be actually a quite a cool moment. Okay, so yeah, not in terms of election night, not a whole ton of surprises, right? It's Mississippi. There's not going to be a ton of different stuff going on right now. My apologies, everybody. Just had to make sure that there weren't a bunch of fans texting in, as that happens a little frequently on the show. A question: is Awoken with Aulden also a dating site? Not in particular, not going to lie. We are about political coverage, whether it is U.S. elections, geopolitics, breaking news, Trump administration breaking news, learning about history, thinking deeply about our country, thinking why things happen in our country, etc. Right? However, we can maybe a subplot has a tentacle has grown on the channel tonight, to where maybe occasionally we can set up some dates from the Awoken community. All right, not saying that's going to be the main driver of the channel. However, it could be a very fun subplot to really humanize. Another thing about becoming awoken is that you realize life is quite short. That with the time that we are given on this earth, is that you need to have as much fun as possible. Not in the fun that you're going to a club every weekend and you're blowing hundreds of dollars on unworthy alcohol, women, whatever it may be. It's about that. And 200 years from now, nobody will know much about us, honestly. That's another thing about being awoken, is that life is so temporary. We're all going to pass away one day, and 200 years after that, it's almost, just think of random people back in that were like that helped build the Industrial Revolution in America. They were phenomenal people. It's just we don't know who they are, right? So that's something else that we also have to become awoken to about, right? Is that like life is so temporary that we need to cherish moments with people, with real life people, right? Ask that girl out. If you're at the bar, like, make new friends, right? Who cares? Because 150 years from now, no one alive is going to be alive anymore. So I know it's a little deep on a random Mississippi election night. However, there is a reality about life that we all have to become awoken to it, and that what do we do with our time in life? Are we going to be a goofball and waste all of our time? I hope not. Or are we going to take a risk and have a belief that all you want to do is win? All I really want to do is win. I want to expand this channel every single day possible. I want to grow the following. I want to help more people and additional people become awoken. And I want to build a common community to where we're all having fun, right? So I know it's a little bit of a kind of monologued rant on Mississippi election night. However, this I think is a critically important thing. So we need to understand that about life. But okay, we're going to head into it. Let's see how these Georgia candidates, if there's any updates with those races. But I would also like to open the floor. If you're watching the stream right now, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate your attention, your support, your likes, your subscriptions, whatever it may be. It is, I deeply value it. So if you're on the stream right now, would love to encourage you to leave a comment and join the comment section below. However, if it is your first time on the channel, please hit that follow button, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. That's the best way you can support me as we continue to develop this channel. Okay, it looks like these two are going to be our nominees come November, or come general election time for the special election. Yeah, most of the votes have been recorded. Let's just kind of look at these counties. Cobb County, looks like Harris is doing okay there. Same with Paulding. But however, in Polk, Fuller is running away with it. Floyd County. Floyd County. Harris, a slight advantage. 5,500 votes. Nothing terrible. Chattanooga. Not Chattanooga. Chattanooga. Didn't even know that was a county. Fuller dominating, winning by around slightly less than double compared to Harris. Ooh, and we got a Dade County. Moore. Okay, so this must be where Mr. Colton Moore is located from. Winning just by a couple points against Fuller. So for Harris, he's only got 687 votes. He's going to be in trouble in this county come the full general election. So this is a GOP stronghold. And you got Walker County. Once again, Moore and Fuller are combining for about 2/3 of the vote. Harris is not going to get any help here. Catoosa. Once again, Harris not getting enough votes. He's going to have to get about 35% if he wants to win come general election time. Whitfield. Harris with a slight advantage. Once again, though, there's two major GOP candidates tonight, and he's only got less than 40% of the vote. So it's going to be a struggle, maybe a worrisome problem for Mr. Harris come Whitfield County for the general election. Okay, got here, we're going to read this last county. Murray County, not even competitive. Harris, actually, is that dude bald or what is he? Here, we're going to, let's look into Mr. Harris come this stream. we're going to go into Sean Harris's campaign website together. Okay. No. Yeah, let's just go to the site. Alright, so he's got the Georgia Bulldog beef. It says it. Alright, I just got something that said it lost my audio. Are you guys able to hear me at all still? I just got a notification that said my audio kind of collapsed. But I'll just wait a moment. And I'll read a comment for the time being. At Bravely Bold says, can you release a statement on Donna Kelsey's new home renovation? Not... I think that's a psyop. My statement is that is a psyop to distract the American people about what's actually happening in our country. Dude, if she's got a new home, who gives a shit, dude? Who gives a shit what the color kitchen counters they are, or what color the new carpet is on the floor, right? Who cares about that lady? Her son is a shill for Pfizer, and the other son is on ESPN Monday Night Football. Who cares about her home? Seriously. If you see that notification, and if someone sends you a story about that, you need to block them. Or you need to block the website. No, right? We are in a regime change war with Iran right now. Who cares about what that lady's house looks like? Are you kidding? Seriously. This is ridiculous. Like, seriously. Who cares what her home looks like? She does not even know who you are. Okay. We're going to head back into Mr. Harris's campaign website. So that's my statement, actually. Who cares anything about that woman? She has so much money, she can fly from the first son's playoff game to the second son's playoff game on whatever jet. She can wear the team clothing. She can wear the team jerseys. She can smile for a photo. Yeah, she can smile for a picture. She can be in different states on different days at different NFL games. That's how much money she has. So people that care about what her home looks like, who cares? Move on from it. That's a false story. You should not spend more than 5 seconds deleting anything you see from your head. Okay, we're going to be looking into Mr. Harris tonight. Here, I just want to check, make sure no one has texted in. Great. Okay, we are still Gucci as of right now. Yeah, Sean Harris for Congress, GA14. Okay, got a solid. I like the photo. Sean believes in Northwest Georgia. Sean, you got to believe in Northwest Georgia. If you're going to run for the district, you got to believe in it. You got to be better than the stupid blonde lady who ran for Congress in Nashville last November. We did a special election night for her too. She said, "What? I hate Davidson County. I hate Nashville, Tennessee. You dumbass idiot." And you're running for Congress and you're going to say that about your district? So we need to give a little kudos to Sean right now. At least saying he believes in the district that he's running for. So let's do a little clap for Sean right now, okay? Clap emojis in the chat for Sean. However, too many of her... And I'll read his statement. If he actually wants to believe in the community, I'll read the statement. Too many of our communities feel forgotten. I hear the fear for our families' futures every day. But right now we have a historic opportunity. With Marjorie Taylor Greene's resignation, the door is wide open to finally bring real representation to Congress. We've already proven what we can do. In 2024, our coalition of Democrats, Independents, and Republicans broke records and showed that this district is ready for a new chapter. Not sure about that. Doesn't seem, not sure. I believe Congresswoman Green was the elected member. However, I'm ready to finish what we started. We have a real chance to flip this seat and deliver the leadership Northwest Georgia deserves. Let's get to work. Okay, well, we have a solid photo, right? He seems serious. Let's go through the rest of the... Ooh, okay, so he's got some kind of issues page, right? You can donate to him. Okay, so he's ready for the fundraising, right? He understands that he's going to need a lot of cash. Ooh, but it's through Act Blue. Ooh, okay, so most of that money might not go to him, actually. However, I'll digress. We'll talk about that another night. An opportunity for you to get on a sign-up list from any Georgia Democrat in the next 100 years. So, wonderful. He's got that in line. Great. Alright, a veteran? Okay. So let's see what he said about the Iran war. If he's a veteran right now, he's got to be opposed to the Iran war, right? Wouldn't that make any sense at all? If what we've been talking about for the past week, wouldn't it make sense that any kind of veteran is opposed to this war? Let's see his statements on this conflict, shall we? Let's go to his Twitter. It's going to take a moment to load. Wow, okay, he's got a lot more followers than maybe he's ran before. All right, so his main claim is that he's trying to deliver actual representation to Northwest Georgia. That's what his statement was all about, right? So he announced last June. Okay, so he's been running for a moment. All right, so it seems like in a short amount of time that this general election will be occurring in the Peach State. I have a couple of friends on the swim team and just in general that live in Georgia, and they always get the cute little "I voted today" sticker with the peach on it. Isn't that kind of cool, right? All right, let's see. Let's see what he said about the Iran war. Election day, protect your vote, whatever, whatever. Not a lot of stuff yet. Okay, so he's trying to. All right, so he's trying to parlay off of the Strait of Hormuz, the conflict, as we've talked about Iran almost every day for the past 3 weeks now, and we know that the Iranian the country, they have control over the Strait of Hormuz, which is 20% of the global oil supply. And right now he's trying to, and here's the thing. Right now we haven't seen what he thinks about the war. So still right now, he's trying to parlay off of the Strait being relatively shut down by the Iranian regime, the remnants of it at least, because they have one of every 5 barrels of oil go through that little strait, that little waterway in Iran. And the regime has made it a priority to suffocate that export line for the time being. And that is causing, we've seen it a lot. A lot people are talking about rising oil prices. The president yesterday made comments almost exactly designed to ease pressures of the global oil market, discussing, well, the war's going to be over soon, and then after the markets close, he's like, we're in it till the end kind of deal, right? So, however, we don't even know what this guy thinks yet. Rainy day, okay. Don't even know what podcast that is. So nothing here. All right, let's go a little quicker. Let's go to February 28th, which was when we all know this conflict or war even began. All right, so, all right, 26th, 27th, 27th again. Let's go to the 28th. All right, okay, so nothing there. Okay, all right, so here's the proving point right now. The proof in the pudding. Quote, as a retired, I'm not sure how to pronounce that specific term, uh, as a retired general, let's just go with that, and a combat veteran, I know the difference between a clear objective and a dangerous distraction. A clearly defined mission and end goal is critical to success. We don't seem to have either in Iran right now. We all know the Iranian regime is bad for its people and the world, but is this operation in the best interest of the United States of America? This war of choice does nothing to help with the rising cost of food, housing, and health care that the hardworking people of Northwest Georgia and America face. Does this operation have an achievable objective worth risking the lives of our sons and daughters? If I were in Congress today, I would demand that Speaker Johnson brings us into session so that we can debate and vote on going to war. We need leaders who prioritize our families at home over another costly war abroad. That's what I'll do when elected March 10th. I have complete confidence in our service members. I am praying for them, I am praying for the safety of every American currently in uniform. Leadership matters, end quote. Okay, so a generic Democratic statement, right? So we're going ahead. We're going to compare his opponent's stance on this race, actually. So Clayton Fuller. to see if there's anything on him, if he has an account ready. Let's go people. Okay, got a new comment from @Ronwin Nance. Says, evening, good evening, Ronwin. Thank you for joining the stream this evening. Glad to have you here. Glad to have everyone here that is watching as we speak right now. Thank you for tuning in to the stream. All right, nothing there, so we need to go back to, let's go latest. Nothing there. Here, let's do some other research. Found him. Okay. We're going to head to Clayton's account here in a moment. Trump endorsed candidate for U.S. Congress, Georgia 14th, elected district attorney, veteran, and Trump appointee fighting for Main Street. Opinions are my own. Let's go to February 28th as well. See if Clay had any comments on the war in Iran. Let's see. February 27th. All right, so it seems like this is his first response. President Trump tried the peace route with Iran not once, not twice, but 3 separate times, and they refused. He's the peace president, but you can't negotiate with the death cult. Pray for our brave troops and for the Iranian people to rise up and reclaim their freedom. All right, so he's essentially, here, let's go back to the beginning of his message. Okay. I would say that's also a generic kind of GOP statement, a little bit there. But we did see great knocking doors. And the bloodthirsty Ayatollah Khamenei, architect of countless deaths among Americans and our allies worldwide, is finally dead. Rot in hell, you monster. Huge thanks to President Trump for this win. Prayers for our troops and for Iranians to rise up and claim their freedom. Okay, wonderful. All right, so I think we've seen both statements, both yeah, we've checked out both of the candidates' Twitter profiles. It seems like this race will head for a runoff, as we have seen by Decision Desk HQ and some other prominent media accounts have signaled that is happening their way. So a quite cool little development there. Now let's stop. Yeah, I don't think in particular any of the Mississippi races are incredible by any means. We'll do one more check before we sign off, but yeah, just not a whole lot of stuff going on in Mississippi. One of the least competitive states in the entire country. Yeah, just not a whole lot of not a lot of stuff going on. However, the Georgia Senate race was quite fun. Okay, so we have a couple of new comments. At Ken Gorsey 5957 says just finished your earlier stream on Iran. Well done. Thank you, Ken. Appreciate your viewership and support this evening. Yeah, man, I put a lot of good chunk, a lot of good effort into that presentation, and that one was several months ago. That was last summer. That's when I kind of started understanding how the world actually operated. And Iran seemed to be in the middle of several of these big kind of questions for civilization and other events. And another comment from @Roy31221, says, I do feel like Donna Kelsey's renovations could impact the runoff. Okay, all right. So we have a pro Donna, I should say maybe a pro, we should look into Donna Kelsey renovation stance. Happy to entertain that. However, you did hear me a little earlier about Mrs. Kelsey and those renovations. It's just kind of funny all of a sudden that, and in New York this weekend, the guy that was walking around basically trying to, gosh, I can't even think of the most accurate. Let me think for a split second. Just essentially trying to goad Muslims into retaliating against his comments. The guy in New York, I can't remember his name. We'll check out his Twitter, honestly, and see what he had. But he's basically, this guy was trying to, yeah, basically, he's in New York City. And I think he has some goat around. He's walking around with a goat, just screaming at Muslims. He's just trying to be essentially begging for an attack or something. I need to find this guy's name, though. Jake Lang. Okay, so let's go to Jake Lang. 1 second, everybody, sorry. Yeah, so you have this Jake Lang guy, and we'll watch some of the clip, honestly. Yeah, the election isn't particularly exciting right now, but maybe let's go YouTube. Maybe there's like a more extended version on YouTube. However, okay, got another comment from Ken. Maybe you can explain to me. Trump lost me this week. Yeah, that's kind of, as you've noticed, I would say in the morning streams, the attitude of the following on the morning streams is becoming more, why are we in this war? Why are we doing this? We're in a war with Iran right now. Out of every single thing Trump said, this was like the one thing that should not have ever have happened, based off of the campaign promises, based off of his evolution story in politics, saying how dumb the Iraq War was, saying how dumb George Bush was for lying about weapons of mass destruction in Iraq, and he does the same exact thing with Iran. It's absolutely unacceptable. We have to have our voices heard about this. This cannot go down silently. For our core principles and our beliefs, this is unacceptable. So we need to make sure that our voices are loud and heard when it comes to this. So here we're going to let's go to Mr. Lang. Let's see what he's got about New York. So yeah, let's just go to this New York Post clip. Once the ad ends, I'll share the screen. And Ken says BB has some Epstein stuff on him. Yeah, like there's got to be, right? There are so many. With the files happening at a weird time, we know that the president had some kind of relationship with Epstein. That a lot of, if you check out the Epstein Files episode from around a month ago, I carefully explain the ties from this administration to the Epstein list and the Epstein Files, whether it's Howard Lutnick or whoever. And yeah, the channel is about being honest. We are advancing our own interests as Americans and as citizens. And if the government is not doing that, then we need to make sure they know it. And we are going to politically pressure them and make our voices heard for not advancing our priorities and interests first. Because we're going to share the screen. And we'll watch this 2 to 3 minute video what Jake Lang is doing. Perfect.
He's just get the out of get the out. No. Get out of my way. Keep moving. Guys, we can't do this on the sidewalk. Cannot assault him. Guys. Don't assault him. God bless you. Yeah. Let's go,
Oh, I think. Okay, here we go.
Start to recognize them even in the office.
Go, guys, keep moving. This way. Right. I got respect. I got you.
Respect.
I'm trying. I'm not pushing.
Letting them know the mansion of the person he just said is should be
drinking goat on Donnie's house?
I'm not pushing. I'm not pushing.
We want the goal! We want the goal! Jake, I'm proud of you. All we want is the goal.
I think we got the main idea of what this is trying to convey. So, let's go into almost the monologue section about what is happening in the media right now. I'm sure you've seen the video of all of the people on that Southwest Airlines flight with their hands above the seat. They're, oh my gosh, there might be a bomb threat. Whether it's this guy straggling around a goddamn goat in New York City, basically egging Muslims to retaliate against him. Whether it's, we're hearing there may be a bunch of sleeper cells from Iran and the United States. It's the same story. And it's just kind of swaying over the media right now. So, once again, here we are, a week after we're in war with Iran. Let's bring a goat out to agitate Muslims. Let's talk about how Islam is destroying America all of a sudden again. Not that we're defending this, it's just we observe stuff on this channel. Okay, and Ken says, gotta go, thank you, Aulden, and says that Nutlick is Trump's handler. Awesome. I'll have to start saying that. All right, Ken, much love, brother. Thank you for tuning in tonight. Glad that you were with us. But however, right, guys, like we are, honestly, this weekend, instead of covering a protest, we need to host a protest in D.C. against this, against the war in Iran, right? Nothing has really happened. There's been we know how unpopular this war is. And really, we're just all kind of watching around. Oop, this happened. This happened today. This happened the other day. This happened this day. And we're just kind of, because we know we're helpless, honestly, is that no matter who you vote for, no matter which candidate wins, the same stuff happens every time. So we need to regroup and understand what the country is actually going through right now. Okay. At Bravely Bold, Nancy Guthrie's statement. Oh my. So you're want me to talk about Mrs. Kelsey and Mrs. Guthrie, Nancy Guthrie. At least people a year ago knew about Donna Kelsey, about Mrs. Kelsey. But nobody knew who this poor old lady was, unless if you weren't at Rockefeller Plaza in New York City or on the Today Show set. You had no idea who this old lady was. I'm sorry that she was kidnapped. I'm sorry that she probably suffered an immense amount of pain. And it stinks, right? I couldn't imagine having a family member kidnapped or abducted. And that person, yeah, like we saw this in Venezuela. Nicolas Maduro was kidnapped and abducted from his private residence in Venezuela on January 3rd, right? Okay, I'm just being a little goofy there. And Bravely Bold says, Donna Kelsey has been... No way. I think that's a bucket of... a crock of poo, I think. I don't think that's accurate at all. No way Donna Kelsey has been, dude, if she got kidnapped, I don't even know what would happen tomorrow. I think Pat McAfee would have an aneurysm on the Pat McAfee show and start screaming, if you got my hands on my second mother, I'm going to do X so hard against you and do Y so hard against your loved ones. You're going to wish you never even knew who Donna Kelsey was. I can see the veins popping out of his neck already with the outrage he would be feeling right now. So, if she was kidnapped, I would be a little I'd worry for that kidnappee or kidnapper, excuse me. So here, just so I know you're not. Nah, I'm kidding. Okay, yeah, of course you were kidding. Donna Kelsey she's remodeling it because she's afraid of being kidnapped. Isn't that kind of the deeper story? Is that she saw what happened with Nancy, and it's like, wow, I need to beef up my security. I need to beef up my fortress. But did you hear she went on a date with Joel Glazer? So she went on a date with the co-owner of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Wouldn't surprise me. Yeah, would not surprise me at all. So, very funny, bravely bold. Thank you for your comments tonight. I believe you've made the Awoken chuckle a little bit this evening. But okay. Here, let's do one more check-in to Mississippi, just in case, if there's anything going on over there. But I really think it is going to be a pretty relatively chill night. Yeah, nothing super emergency happened tonight, right? We just talked a little bit about war with Iran, the Mississippi primaries. Tomorrow we're going to be talking all about the Kurds, so make sure you tune in tomorrow night for that. Yeah, once again, nothing particularly exciting. Let's go Mississippi. Whoa, okay. Maybe. Yeah, you might need at XCYFS or the accountant that keeps calling me a beautiful, sexy dude to advance your goal. Right there, bravely bold. So, okay, so nothing crazy here. Let's go back to the house races. That's what we were talking about a little bit earlier. All right, so 3 of the 4 have been called. Thompson 1 and 02. He'll almost certainly be the congressman come again this November. And let's just go to one more time the Georgia House Special. And yeah, that's going to be locked in for a runoff here in a few weeks. So, okay, everybody, I think we're going to hop off of these share screens. Would love if you have any other questions, whether it's about Donna, about Mrs. Kelsey, whether it's about Nancy Guthrie, or Iran, or Mississippi, Georgia, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Donald Trump, Joel Glazer, any of those, Howard Lutnick, any of the figures we have discussed this evening. Would love to chat with you. However, did several hours of streaming this morning, so we'll be back with you tomorrow for Awoken Wednesday, the Awoken Wednesday main topic. Around 22 and a half hours from now, we will be talking about the Kurds, their historical significance in the Middle East, and maybe addition, I should say, rather, to this conflict right now with Iran. So we're going to be keeping all eyes on the Kurds tomorrow night. So if no one else has any questions, I'll probably end it around here. Yeah, I did a solid low Tuesday stream. Got to chat with y'all. Got to talk. Let's go through some of the commenters tonight. So AME629 and Lou Claren 5690 were here earlier tonight. Then Lucy said hello. Beth said hello, and Bravely Bold at Ronwin Nance, Ken and Roy 3121 all made an appearance tonight in the chat. So thank you to all of you for joining the discussion tonight. Hopefully you guys come back next time. So yeah, without that, I think we're just going to cut it here. Let's end this relatively early tonight. So just a reminder, tomorrow night we will be back for Awoken Wednesday. Going to be talking all about the Kurds. And with that, you have been Awoken with Aulden. All right, much love, everybody. We will see you tomorrow morning for another Walking Around DC type of stream to meet more of you guys and grow the channel. All right, everybody, much love. We will see you tomorrow for Awoken Wednesday, our favorite day on this channel.